Yes, we are live, we are live, we are live. I welcome all of you here. I believe I can be heard. Good afternoon to you all. My name is Ikia Safo, and today is another beautiful Wednesday afternoon. And we are going to have our Wednesday live. Yes, we used to have our live sessions on Tuesdays, but we had to reschedule due to some one or two things. So now we have them on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, 12 p.m. That is when we have our free live classes. Yes, every Wednesday. So that is a new day that we are doing. We will be having our Wednesday at our classes, our weekly webinars. I welcome all of you. I believe I can be heard. I believe I can be seen. If you can hear me, if you can see me, let me see your comments in the comment section so that I can confirm that I can be heard clearly. Let me see your comments in the comment section so that I believe that you can hear me. Yes, I believe you can hear me. I'm so sorry about that. Um, my daughter is around and I needed to check her on a few things. So yes, I welcome you once again. If you can hear me, please let me know in the comment section that I can be heard. Um, okay, I believe I can be heard. So yes, it's another beautiful day, and we are going to talk about how to raise a child who makes sound decisions. Okay, when you are not around. How will your child be able to make the right decisions whenever you are not there? You know, they go to school, our children go to school, and they do so many things in our absence. They go to school, we are not there. They go out, we are not there. We are not going to be there with them all the time. So will they be able to ask themselves, will they be able to take the right decision whenever we are not closer with them? This is a question that I always ask myself, and I'm able to, put myself together, put my stuff together, and begin to teach my children. I build skills in them, not just teach, but we practice. There are so many things that we do. So I'm going to teach you some of the things you can do to help your child make better decisions someday when you are not around, because life happens. You can't always be there with them. There will be times when you will not be around. There will be times when you will even be totally absent from their lives. Will they be able to make decisions, the right decisions? Very, very important. And one thing that we need to take notice of is that children are always making decisions. They are always making decisions. But one thing that I have realized is that children make decisions based on their emotions. They make decisions based on fears. So we need to be able to equip them well so that whenever they make decisions, they'll be able to have that skill to think through before they make the decisions. So I want you to, if you haven't shared this link, kindly share with your friends, your family, those who are around you, so that they will be able to join us and learn as we are learning here today. We need to build skills in our children. Okay, we need to build skills in our children. So our children are going to face challenges. They are going to be pressured. They are going to meet people who will influence them, try to influence them. They are going to, like, the world is too big. Okay, the world is too big, and you can't say that you won't teach your children. You need to intentionally teach them, so that at the when they find themselves in places where there is no mommy, there is no daddy, they will know and stand firm in what you have been able to build in them. They will base whatever decisions they will make will be dependent on the skills you have built in them. So it's very, very important. Okay, it's very, very important. And note that the decisions they are going to be able to make, the right decisions that they will make, will not be based on your yelling. It will not be based on your shouting. It will not be based on your warnings. You are warning them, or maybe remember what you have to do. Remember, no, it is the skills you build in them. There are life skills that we need to build in our kids to enable them make the right decision. So in today's webinar, we are going to look at how you can equip your child to think for themselves in your absence, how you can actually, they will be able to trust themselves and trust what you have taught them, so that they'll be able to make the right decisions. It's very, very important, and we need to take note of that. So if you don't have your pen, your paper, your book and your pen with you, please get them and write them down. I know these things are very, very important, for many parents, because we all know this is life. We go to work, we go here. Sometimes the kids come back from school and there is no parent home. Are they able to take care of themselves? Are they able to, follow their routines? Is there even a routine for them to follow? So this class, I know, is very important for parents, and that is why we actually decided to talk about them today. So what makes a child capable of making decisions? What is the exact home system that you need to, put up to be able to shape, build, or help your child make the right choices? So I'm going to also give you tools you can start teaching your children immediately today, right after this session. You will be able to start teaching them what they need to do to be able to take the right decisions, and how your child can also build, how they'll be able to know whenever they find themselves in any situation at all, they won't choose fear. They will fear, but before they won't even allow the fear to overtake them. They will be able to, whilst they are feeling that fear, they will be able to still, in that fear, make the right decisions. So I want us to take note of that. So we are going to start how we can raise our children to make sound decisions when you are not there with them. We are going to start right away. Right away. So the first thing we need to know is the four. Guiding a child to make the right decisions is based, or you require 4 pillars. The first pillar is self-awareness. You need to have self-awareness. The child has to be self-aware. So the first skill you build is self-awareness skill. The second thing is critical thinking skills. The third pillar is moral compass. Moral compass. And then the fourth one is emotional regulation. So I'm going to take each point and then take my time and explain for you to understand. So when we come to the first one, which is the self-awareness simply means that your child knowing themselves, okay? Knowing themselves to the point that they won't allow other people to control them. So they know what they like, what they dislike. Whenever they consider their values, they know who they are. Their values are clearly stated to them. They know who they are. They know themselves. They know their identity. They understand the home they are coming from. They understand their personality. So they don't allow, before they make any decisions at all, they consider all of these things, who they are, what they like. Is this in line with my values, our family values, my personal values? Is this thing something that I want to do? So When you are able to know this first pillar, you build self-awareness in your child. It's very, very important. Self-awareness. Let your child know. Don't assume that this child should know who they are. Don't assume that my child should know our values. My child should know that this thing, we don't like it as a family. No. If you don't intentionally teach them, they will never know. Most of the times we assume, and assumptions is the lowest form of knowledge. So stop assuming, always assuming, and begin to teach, guide your child. So build self-awareness. Self-awareness is key. Let them know who they are, what they like. Guide them through it. And these things doesn't take a day to build. It's a gradual process. Okay. Let them know what makes them comfortable. Okay, and all of that. So you teach all of those things intentionally. Teach them identity statements, who they are, and all of that. The second thing, which is critical thinking, teach them that they need to pause. They need to pause whenever they need to make a decision. Teach them to pause, think about it before they say or they respond. They just don't have to follow people as and when they see someone doing something, then they follow. Sometimes my kids, I quite remember, was it a month ago or so? We attended a program and we couldn't stay till the time that they were closing, so we just had to leave. And then my son was like, "Mommy, but there are people here. There are people still here. Where are we going now?" And I told him that we are not other people. We are different. The fact that people are still here doesn't mean we should stay here. We are working with time. And the most important thing is that we came to experience the program, but we can't stay here later than the time that has been stated. So we need to leave. And I told him, he understood. So we are not like other people. The fact that other people are doing it, we don't follow the crowd. We work with a goal. So let your child think through, be able to pause. So you can introduce the stop, think, and decide, strategy to them. Stop whenever you have to make a decision. Stop, think about it before you decide. Always teach them to stop or pause. Then they will think it through before they will be able to decide. So stop, think, decide. That is what you need to teach them all the time. And then teach them to ask reflective questions. So some of the reflective questions can be, what could happen next? So before they decide to do something, let them be able to ask, so what could happen next? If I choose to do this thing, what could happen next? Is this thing safe? This thing that I want to do, or this thing that my friends are pushing me to do, is it safe? Is it something that I need to, when I do, nothing will go wrong? They need to ask themselves these questions. And another question is that, is this the right thing even if no one is watching me? Let them know that they need to still do the right thing even when no one is watching. Sometimes because of how we raise these kids, they grow to become like hypocrites. Some of them only act, they only perform, they only do the right thing when they see you are around. And then the moment you leave, they feel like, oh, freedom, mom is not here, dad is not here, I can do whatever I like. So that is why we need to change how we are raising them, to let them know that they need to still make the right decision, whether there is mom, there is dad, or not, whether there is a trusted adult, wherever they find themselves, they should be able to make the right decisions. So it's very, very important. These three questions, these are reflective questions, are questions we need to teach our children to ask themselves all of the time. I'm going to take that again. The first thing is that, what could happen? What could happen next? The reflective questions, what could happen next? The second question is this thing safe? Is this thing safe? And then the final one is that, is this thing, right? Even when no one is watching me, is it something that is right that I can still do? So we need to teach them all of these. Now, the third pillar that we need to teach our children is the moral compass, or our core values. What are core values? And in the Inner Tribe program, okay, we teach parents how they can craft their family values. It's very, very important. So your values are what will guide you in your decision making. Your values are going to help you whenever you have to make any decision at all. You need to consider your values. Who are you? And then this thing goes back to the first point, which is self-awareness. So if they know their values, who they are, who they represent, they are people of, integrity, they are honest people, they fear God, they do this, all of that. If you have taken your time to explain to them their values, this is our family and these are our values, they know who they are. So it will guide them to be able to make the right choices when they have to. So it's very, very important. So you need to create your family values. And there's a way to do it. Sometimes if you are not in a system that will hold you accountable, that will hold your hands to teach you how you can create your family values, it will actually be tough. You may get the guide. You can buy a guide, to help you, but you will still need to. Sometimes it gets confusing. These things, if you're not in the system that will help you, it gets confusing. So I'll advise that you join the Inner Tribe program so that you'll be able to do all of that. You'll be able to create your family values. And the guide has been updated. So the ones we used last year, we are not going to use the same thing. We've updated our guide, the family mission statement. That is what we are going to use in the next cohort. So you can join if you haven't already registered. So that is about that. You need to help them create their moral compass. So maybe we are a family, we are honest people, integrity, accountability, respect. So you can choose any of those to be your family values, and then you begin to break each down to explain to your child. So anytime you have your family meetings, you can let them recite your family values. What are family values? So it will be like in other companies, when before they start any meeting at all, they recite the company's mission, vision, their values. They recite all of that. So anytime before you start your family meetings, you let your kids or all of you recite, this is our vision, this is our mission, this is our values. They recite before you start your family meeting. It's very, very important. And as you are talking about it, as they are saying it, it is, sticking in their minds, and it will guide them to be able to make the right decisions when they have to. Very, very important. So the next pillar, which is the final pillar, is emotional regulation. Emotional regulation, children make bad decisions because sometimes because they are scared, sometimes because they fear, sometimes because even when they get overexcited, they can make bad decisions. So we need to teach them to regulate their emotions. So yesterday, my little girl we were doing something and I was asking her. The other time I saw her dad teaching her about how she can control her emotions. It's something we teach, but we need to keep teaching. So, and I was asking her, so what did daddy say? Daddy said that when you are angry, what do you have to do? And then she said, daddy says when I'm angry, I need to take a deep breath. And what else? And then smile. And then she started doing. So these things, you may not, as I always say, you may not see the results, like you may not see the results now, okay? But as you keep doing it, as you keep saying it, you are forming something in their minds. So as you keep saying it, as you keep modeling it, as you keep teaching, guiding, role playing with the kids, it becomes a part of them. And when it gets to the point where they need to make a decision, all the things you have taught them will now begin to make sense. Okay, so we need to teach them, no matter how I say all of that time that you can give yourself all of the excuses that you are busy. We are all busy. Life has gotten busier than it used to be. But we can't also say that because we are busy, we can't help the kids. If we leave them, we are going to face the consequences later. And we are the first people who will suffer that consequence before the society. So we need to see, it is not about spending like the whole day with your kids, because I know there are parents who have that time. They spend like the whole day with their kids, but they don't have any content at all. They don't have anything to teach. So it's not about you spending the whole day, but it's about you, even if it's 15 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes, you are able to do something with the child because you know what to do with the child to be able to help them. Yesterday, I was looking at um I have a little problem in my bathroom. The sink, the tap there, it's flows. Even when it's closed, you could see the water dropping like that. So I put something under it, and I was looking at it. It was just dropping. So I walked out and I came back later on and I saw it was full. And I was like, yes, this is how, anything that happens, I try to make meaning out of it. So I called my kids and then I started teaching them, when you begin to feel yourself, no matter it may be small, as you are dropping, as you are doing the things every day consistently, the the drop of water that was coming from the tap was consistent. It was always dropping. Co, 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 co. And after some time, you could see it becomes full. So it's not about you waiting for that special time, that holiday to come, that weekend, that time where you will be free to be able to connect with the child. No, it's the daily consistent habits, the little things you do consistently. That is what will help build that connection. That will help you see that child that you want to see. So you may have the goals, you may have, the aim, what your child, what you want your child to do. But it's that system that you have built, that system, what you have decided to do every day, what you have decided to do every day. That is what is going to guide you. And one of the books we are going to read in the Inner Tribe is James Clear's Atomic Habits. Because I think that most of the times parents, we don't really understand that we need to create a system in whatever we are doing. You need to create the system. The systems that you have created is what will help you get the result that you seek to get. It's not about you waiting for that, holiday, or you waiting for you to finish all that you are doing. Then you come to you get your children to, teach them something. No, it is the daily things you are doing. That is the systems you are building around that. So it's very, very important. Teach them that they need to stay calm whenever they have to make a decision, whenever they feel any sort of emotion. They should use their thinking brain. Emotional intelligence is you using thinking to be able to make a decision. It's not about you following your emotions. No, your emotions will not give you the results. It's about how you are able to think whenever you feel any sort of emotions at all. So let us begin to teach our children that they can control their emotions. They need to stay calm whenever they feel something. When they are afraid, they need to stay calm to be able to think. If they don't stay calm, they will never be able to think. So I tell my kids all of the time, when something happens, you are, everywhere. When you are everywhere, you lose the ability to think. Stay calm, sit down and think, what can I do now? Now that I am in this situation, what can I do? It's very, very important. And then you teach them to assess their emotions before they act. Let them be able to assess their emotions before they act. Very, very important. So let's look at the next thing, which is the parenting habits that build wise decision makers. What habits do you need to build as a parent to be able to raise your child to become a good decision maker? Very, very important. So the first thing is that we need to stop controlling our kids. We need to stop controlling them. And then we need to start coaching them. We need to start guiding them. That is what we need to do. So replace that statement that do as I say. When your child asks why, it's because I say so. No, you need to be able to take your time. So you move from do as I say to let's think through this together. Let's think through this together. Anytime my kids come to me, so they come to me, mommy, they ask me a question. I don't just answer them. No, I throw it back to them. What do you think we should do? What do you think about it? I let them think. It is only when I tell them all the time that God has given all of us brains, but if you don't use it, you don't expand it, you don't become wiser. So if you want to become wise, continue thinking, stretch your brain. And that is why I get them to read all of the time, because consistently reading will help. Sometimes it's difficult for some people. And when they face a difficulty, they stop. No, when you are reading, when you are someone who wants to build, who want to be able to read consistently, as you are reading, it gets difficult. But the more it gets difficult, you still continue to read. And when you pass that stage, you'll see that it will get to a point where you won't even feel comfortable when you don't get a book to read. So it is something we need to do. Encourage your children to think all the time when they come to you and ask you a question. Don't just answer them because you want them to know that mommy knows it all or daddy knows it all. Yes, we know you are the parent. Of course, you are wiser, but you need to also build their ability to think. And you can only do that when you are able to ask them questions. Don't only focus on controlling them. When you control them, it creates fear. It creates fear. And fear doesn't make them, become creative. It kills the creative parts in their minds. So when you coach them, you are you are guiding them to become wise. Coaching creates wisdom. And your child needs thinking. Your child needs a thinking brain, not a scared brain. So we need to take note of that. If you want your child to be always afraid, continue yelling at them, continue controlling them. But I believe that every parent wants a child who is able to think. And if you want that, you need to be able to coach them, guide them, take your time. Know that they are just kids. I understand. I know sometimes the things they do, it gets you frustrated. You want to shout, you want to beat them and all of that. But calm down, pause, and just take it as this child doesn't know. Let me continue guiding them. This is not about being soft or being permissive. I always say it all the time. No, that is not what positive, intentional, conscious parenting is about. It's not about being permissive, but it's about you being able to help the child, guide the child through. Of course, whenever they need to face a consequence, let them face a consequence. Don't bail them out. When you do that, you are building them, you are making them be able to think, you are building the creative parts of their lives. It's very, very important. So you coach them through everyday choices. Sometimes when you can let them know. So maybe we have 3 meals on our menu. What do you think we should cook? Okay. Sometimes let them be able to suggest, okay, mommy, I think we should eat this. The other time, my son told me he was going to eat, he mentioned a certain kind of food. They all agreed that they were going to eat this food in the morning. And I said, okay, this is what you eat. I intentionally said I wasn't going to eat that particular meal. I'll be cooking a different meal to eat. And when the food was ready, they said they were going to eat some of my food. I told them, no, you will not eat. It is a decision you made. And that decision you have made is what you are going to stick to. You will not come and eat what I have prepared. It is also a decision I made, and I'll stick to my decision. So let them know that you don't make a decision and then later want to change your mind. No, whatever decision you make, you stick to it. So before you make any decision, take your time and think through, because sometimes when you make that decision, you get the results, you can't go back. You need to stick to it. So you see, the very little things that we do at home, it helps them at the end of the day. It forms something bigger. So when your child is unable to stick to a decision, when they say today I want this, they change their mind. No, I don't want this again. I want another. They will grow with it, and then when they marry, they will see their wives. No, I've married this woman, but she's no more attractive. She's giving birth, and look at how she's turned out. No, let me go for another woman. And these are some of the things that makes them undecisive. So we need to intentionally build Let them know that once you have chosen this thing, that is what you are getting. So before you make a decision, make sure you are thinking well. Make sure you are looking well. Make sure you are opening your eyes, thinking your ears before you make that decision. Because once you make it, asa, let's be able to guide them through. Okay. And let's also focus on growing their independence instead of micromanaging them. Sometimes, especially women, our sons, we want to do everything for our sons. We tell ourselves that my boy is going to grow, he's going to marry, and his wife is going to do everything for him. So let me just serve him. Let me just, when he finish eating, I'll wash the plates. When I'll wash his clothes. I'll do this, I'll do that. And then you feel you are overwhelmed. You don't even know what to do. You are tired. Build them. Let them be able to take responsibility for themselves. Male, female, let them take responsibility for themselves. Even my 4-year-old, I started very young. There are things she does herself. When she comes back from school, she will fill her water bottle, she will pack her things, even her assignments. She gets to do them herself. It's only when she faces some difficulty that she come, Mommy, please, can you come and help me? Then I'll look at it for her. So we need to stop micromanaging our kids. There are things they can do. And when we build them that way, it makes life even easier for us. It gets to a time you could see there are some parents, they are so tired, they feel overwhelmed because they are doing everything. They are doing things for their 8-year-olds. Your child is 10 and you are still washing their clothes. Your child is 10, they can't cook anything, simple breakfast. You are doing everything all by yourself. And at the end of the day, you are tired. You feel exhausted. You can't even read. You can't do anything for yourself. So you need to let them do things. If you want to really parent, with a lot of peace, and that is why you put all of these things together, and that is why at the end of the day, because you feel overwhelmed and tired, you begin to shout at the kids at the least thing that they do. But if you are giving them responsibilities, this person, you are guiding them. Okay, this is what you have to do. Let me guide you through. They do it. And I don't iron my kids' clothes for them. I don't iron their clothes. I don't wash their clothes. They do everything. They do most of the things they do themselves. The things for themselves, they do for themselves. They iron their clothes. I sometimes I guide them. I go and check up on what they have done to see if they have done it well. And if not, I teach them how they need to do it perfectly well. So we need to begin now. Let's stop bailing them out, doing everything for them. It doesn't help them become responsible. It doesn't help them become, when they grow, like when they go to become adults, you see, and especially when they move to the boarding houses, because we haven't prepared them well, they go there, and by the time they come home for the first time, everything gets lost. They have lost everything. It is because we didn't prepare them. The boarding house is also another thing that maybe we will talk about that later. Before you take your child to the boarding school, ensure you have built skills in them. Ensure you have taught them to take good care of themselves, because over there is more like a training ground for them, for the things you have built in them. That is where they are going to really show, okay, I have been trained at home. This time, mommy and daddy is not here. So what can I do? The things that they have taught me, this is the time I have to do those things here. So it's not a place where the housemaster or the headmasters are going to train your child for you. Most of the times we take our kids to the boarding school because we think that is where they are going to build habits. That is where they are going to build character. But no, it's a training ground for them. So you prepare them and then you let them go there. We need to take note of that. So let them begin now. Teach independence. Don't let them depend on you for anything. Sometimes intentionally, as you are teaching, intentionally leave them. Sometimes before they come, if you are someone who is always home with them, sometimes intentionally stay out a bit longer and see when they come home, will they be able to follow their routines? So when you come and they are not able to, then you know that, okay, my kids still needs help. Because sometimes you get them all the routines, everything, and still you will see that they are unable to do things for themselves. So you need to be intentional about how you are doing it. Very, very, very important. And the second thing is that the second habit you need to have as a parent to be able to raise a decision maker is to allow age appropriate choices. So when you have maybe toddlers, you can let them, don't choose their clothes for them. Of course, there are some cases where you can choose for them. Even that, you can just take maybe the 3 different clothes that you want them to wear and guide them. Let them choose one. Tell them you have 3 clothes. We are going here. So choose one. Okay. It's something you are doing. Maybe house home attire. You can just take 2 or 3. You guide them to choose one. They will choose. So that is where you build decision making skills from. It's very, very important. Allow them to make choices. And when you have teenagers or preteens, you can let them, maybe their weekly snacks, let them choose what they'll eat today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let them choose those things themselves. And sometimes, if you have teenagers too, you need to get them to budget. Sometimes you get them to sometimes choose even their own consequences. Get them to choose their own consequences. Give them options, let them choose from it. It's very, very important. And then the next thing that we need to do is to let them follow natural consequences. Don't bail out your child. I tell my kids, if you don't eat, what happens? You go hungry. If the weather is cold and you don't cover yourself well, you feel cold. So there are some consequences. You can't just you don't have to say you will not let your child face those consequences. Let them face the natural consequences. Nothing will happen to them. They will not die. Let them face consequences when they have to. Okay? If you have to eat in the morning and you delay, who will go hungry? You. If you have to do your homework and you don't do your homework, you go to school, or maybe you forget your homework at home. I'm not going to run and bring your homework to you at school just because I don't want a teacher to beat you, or maybe I don't want you to go through any consequence at school. No, I will not do that. And if you don't do that, some parents run, like they run and go and submit their kids' assignments for them. What are you teaching the child? Irresponsibility. You are teaching them that they can do anything and there will always be someone to rescue them. No, no one is coming to rescue you in this life. So teach them when you go, when you do anything, okay, when you do anything at all, okay, Tina, am I right? Tina Mensa, I'm enjoying this session. God bless you, coach. Thank you so much. God bless you too, Tina. Thank you so much for being here. So we need to be intentional, okay, and teach these kids. Let's stop bailing them out. Let's stop doing things for them. It will not help them. It will not help them. I know that human beings, we are limited. You're not going to stay. If I say limited, I don't mean our abilities, but I mean that it gets to a stage where you can die at any point in time. It's something that we don't want to hear, but death is inevitable. Whether you like it or not, it will happen. It can happen. So if you know that, you intentionally prepare your child. There's this woman who really got very, very ill with a serious illness, and she was told she had 1 year to live. That 1 year, what she did changed everything, because she knew that she was going to die. And if she didn't build that skills in her kids, the kids will suffer. So if we know that we are not going to stay here forever and ever with our kids, we won't do anything anyhow. We won't just leave certain things. We won't be lenient. We won't be, how do I call it? We won't do anything anyhow. Every step that we take with intentionality. We are intentional. And that is the only way we can change the narrative, by not doing things anyhow, but rather working with a plan, and not following what other people are doing. Let them work with your plan, move on. Whatever the challenge you face, you still tell yourself that you are going to make sure you bring out the best in your kids. Very, very important. So we've looked at natural consequences. The next thing is that you need to ask thinking questions instead of just giving them commands. Ask thinking questions. Whenever they come to you, I think I have spoken about this already. Whenever they come to you with anything, ask them, so what's the plan? What do you think is the best option here? Okay. Sometimes you can let them choose about three different they can choose three different, they make three different choices, and then let them work with one. When they don't get the results, let them try the other one. Let them try, keep thinking, give them time to think. Then they will come to you. My son knows that even when he comes to tell me, Mommy, can you help me with this? I'll tell him, try it first. And he'll say, Oh, Mommy. And I'll say, Yes, try it first. He will try and then he'll be able to do it. So then I'll tell him, You see, you are capable. Sometimes you just think, Mommy is there. Let me go and tell Mommy. Mommy will help me out. Mommy will help you. But he knows that before, when he comes, Mommy will tell him to try first. So now these days he tries, and when he's not able to do it, he comes to me. And then when he comes, I tell him, Have you tried? How many times have you tried? And then he tries again for me to see. When I see that he can't, then I help him. So it's also we also, it doesn't mean that you don't have to teach them to seek help. You need to teach them to seek help, but you need to know the balance. Like, you need to know how you're going to balance all of these things. So in the inner tribe, I tell them, see, you are a thinking parent. You are a thinking parent. Sometimes you don't leave your mind behind just because you are in a system that is going to help you. You also think, and that is also something that is building you. You are building yourself as a person. So we need to take note of that. Ask them that what could go wrong. If we are going by this decision, what do you think can go wrong? Okay, or what would you do if I wasn't here? Whenever my kids, Mommy, could you put this thing up there for me? I'll tell them, so if I wasn't here, what would you have done? Then they will go like, okay, Mommy, I'll do this. And I said, do it. Act as if I'm not here. Do what you have to do. I'll not bail you out. Even if you have to put something up there, I'll ask you, what would you have done if I wasn't here? You think, and then you let me know what you would do. Then you will do it for me to see if it will work. That is how we need to raise them. That is how they go to become thinkers. They see challenges and then they're able to think of how I can solve this challenge, not just waiting for other people to come and solve their challenges for them. So we need to take note of that. And the next thing is we need to model wise decision making. I say that children will not do what you are telling them. So yesterday, or was it this morning? Yeah, we were preparing, juice for school for my kids, and I was doing it with my daughter. So she came, and then she told me that she wanted to do the pineapple. So we were doing it, and then I asked her to put it on the chopping board. So I was doing it. Then I took the pineapple, and then I started using. I didn't use the chopping board. I took it. I had told her to use the chopping board, and then I took it and I was just, doing it on like that. And then she also, once she saw me pick it up doing it, she also picked hers. She also didn't use the chopping board. So that is when it clicked that no, a child will not do what you are telling them to do, but they will do what they are seeing you do. So immediately I saw that, I put it back on the chopping board, and then I saw that she had also done the same thing, and then she was cutting them. So a child will not just do what you are telling them to do. You can talk from morning to evening. If they don't see that you are doing it, they will also not do it. Sometimes they will watch you and they will do exactly what you are doing. So that is why I say that you need to be intentional. You need to watch how you are talking, how you are dressing, how you are even talking about other people in their presence. Because whatever they see you do is what they are going to do. Whatever your child sees you do, they are going to do the same thing. So we need to be very, very careful. You need to be very, very careful. If you think they are not seeing you, if you think you can do whatever thing that you want because they are kids, they will not see, they don't know anything. They are not just kids. Whatever you do, it's hiding. It's they are keeping it somewhere in their unconscious mind. So let's take note of that. Let's take note of that. That the next thing is that we need to also, okay, so I think we are done with the habits. The habits you need to put up to be able to help your child become a good decision maker. Now let's look at the environment that can shape your child's decision making. What sort of environment do you have to create as a parent? So the first thing is the home environment. How is your home like? Is your home chaotic? Is there peace? When children, when the home is chaotic, children make impulsive decisions. So we need to build structure. You need to build routines. You need to build, there should be, the things should be predictable in your home. Your child should be able to predict mom, dad. They should be able to know when I come home, what is the structure? What is my routine? My morning routine, my evening routines. When they don't know what to do, the routines and the structures you have built is what is going to help them, guide them to do what they have to do. So let's say they have their evening routines. They come home, mommy is not around. You have taught them, when you come and I'm not around, these are your routines. Don't wait for me. Just look at what you have to do and do it. And if you do that, it's going to help them because they know what they have to do. They wouldn't have to wait for you to come before they do what they got to do. So we need to take note of that. Build routines, build structures so that, they can also make decisions. They can also do what they have to do for themselves. If not, they are always dependent on you, and it doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help them as well. And peers, another environment that shape our children's decision making is peers. Their peers. They what they do. Their friends teaches them. Sometimes their friends pressure them. So you need to teach them that whenever there is pressure, the other time we were talking about drugs in our home, and I was teaching my son that. So we did a role play. I was teaching him. So what if your friends call you and they tell you, this drug, this cocaine, this. When I take this, I feel high. So, you come and take it. If you don't take it, this is this. You are John, you are Kolo, you don't know what's going on. So I said all of those things, and he said, please, I'm sorry, I'm not going to take it. And I said, are you sure? So I forced him. I used all the things that is likely that their friends can say to influence him. And then he still said no. So it's role play is something that we do. Okay. It's something that we do. It's you helping the child so that whenever they face the real situation, they will know, they will still be familiar. They will know that, okay, we practice this at home. So it's now happening now. It means that I have to do what I did when we were role playing, or what mommy taught me, or what daddy taught me. So role play is very, very important. They should learn how to say no respectfully and walk away. They should, well, no, they shouldn't say no and stand there. So teach them to say no. After saying no, let them walk away. Walk away. Don't stand there. Don't say no and be standing there. If you do that, you are still going to be influenced. So teach them to say no and walk away. Also, teach them that they need to choose safer alternatives whenever their friends, bring them things, suggest things that are not, that doesn't make sense, that is against their values. They need to choose a safer alternative. They shouldn't just follow what people tell them to do. And the school culture, talk about school issues, proactively. Role play scenarios, as I've said, like people who are going to bully them, how are they going to handle bullies? How are they going to handle bad influences and all of that? Teach media and technology. Teach media literacy. Okay, help them differentiate real versus fake, safe versus unsafe, trend versus trap. Teach media literacy. Maybe next year I'm going to come up with a book, Media Literacy for Kids. It's very, very important. These days, the way we abuse technology is bad. People are doing all sort of things. We don't use it as a tool to learn. We are using it as a tool to, do all sort of things that are not necessary. And the kids, sometimes we think that we have parental controls, we have put the right systems in place, but the kids are smarter. They are smarter. You may think that you have put all of those things in place, but they will also have their way. Some of them, there are apps that keep saying that you don't even know, you have no idea. So you need to be intentional with how you use media at home. Very, very important. It's very, very important. Talk about it. Don't hide. Teach them that that space, the media is a space where you can do so many things, great things. But if you abuse it, you end up messing up your life. Let's teach them all of these things. So let's look at the tools that you can use to teach wise decision making. So the 3-question rule, that is, the 3 questions rule are, the first thing is that, is this safe? Okay, they need to ask themselves, is this safe? Is this right? Is this wise? Safe, right, wise. They need to teach them whenever they face any situation at all. That is what they need to ask themselves. The second thing is the 10-second, pause technique. Let them be able to pause for 10 seconds. Then when they pause, train them to delay decisions. So they use that 10 seconds to ask them to settle whatever emotions they will be feeling. They are using that 10 seconds to settle, to, use their brains to think before they choose. 10-second rule, the 10-second pause technique. Teach them whenever there's a decision that they have to make, they need to pause, okay? Settle down emotionally. Whatever they are feeling, tell them that they can still control, they are in control of themselves. If they react, it means that they are allowing a situation or someone to control them. But as people who are independent people, as human beings with the ability to think, you can settle your emotions and then you use your brain to think before you choose wisely. So teach them that. Another thing is decision making scenarios. You role play to them. Okay, you role play. So maybe a friend asks you to lie. What would you do? How will you go about it? You go to school. Your senior asks you to follow them to a place that is not right. What will you do? Someone gives you money, will you just accept the money? What questions are you going to ask? What will you do before you take that money? Or even if you not take it, what are you going to do? Okay, you are alone, maybe online, and then someone shares a link with you. Are you going to tap on the link to watch whatever is in there, or you are going to show to a trusted adult? So guide them, let know how they think about those things. Let them know what they think. And when you ask these questions and then they answer you, don't begin to criticize them or don't begin to shout, yell. No, know that it's an opportunity for you to teach them what to do, the right things to do. So it's important. Whenever your child messes up, okay, or makes a mistake, see that as a teachable moment. See it as an opportunity that you have to know that, okay, my child doesn't know this, so let me just find a way, create a system around it, and begin to teach the child. They are giving you those answers. They are messing up. They are doing the mistakes because really they lack the skills to actually do the right things. So we need to teach them, let them know what is right, the right things that they need to do, so that whenever they face the real thing, they will know, okay, this is what I have to do. This is what daddy taught me. This is what mommy taught me. So this is what I'm going to do. And then the family decision meetings. Do you meet as a family? You need to meet every week at least. I say if your kids are young, your weekly meetings, don't play with it. If your spouse is not around, you can do a video call to meet so that he can, talk with the kids. I always encourage that. Let's get the fathers involved. Get the fathers involved. When fathers are involved, things don't get overwhelmed for you. It gets easier. So whatever you have to do, it's not about fighting. It's not about you, showing that you've learned parenting. So no. You calm down and find a way to get the man on board to help you raise the kids, because they are his sperms and he has to take care of his sperms, right? So we need to take note of that. Teach whenever there's a family meeting, you can, once a week when you meet, you can bring up certain things to talk about. You review maybe the week, how the week was, what were some of the choices they made, was it right, what were the choices they made, what were the consequences, what were the results, was it good, was it bad, what did they learn from it? Okay. And when they tell you the good ones, we celebrate it, and then the ones that didn't go well, we guide them through so that next time they'll be able to do or choose the right things. We don't shame. We don't shame over there. No, we guide. And then you need to, as you are discussing, as you are building, talking about it with them, you are building wisdom in them. That is how you can help your child. It's not about beating, yelling, and all of that. No. Okay, so how to know your child is also becoming. So after you have done all of these things, how do you know that my child is now becoming a good decision maker? Okay, I see my child, they are becoming a good decision maker. You see that maybe your child is able to pause before he acts. You see your child is able to pause. Whenever you ask him a question, he will pause and think about it before he answer. He doesn't just open his mouth and answer. He pauses before he's able to answer. That is one thing you know that, okay, my child is becoming a good, and this, my son, I see him like that a lot. Whenever you ask him any question, he pauses, he thinks about it before he answers. He doesn't go just open his mouth and talk. No, I've studied him for some time. Whenever you ask him a question, he'll be quiet, thinking. I'll be looking at his face, and you could see him racking his brain, and then he'll give you the answer. So that is one thing. When you see that thing in your child, it means that, okay, your child is becoming a good decision maker. And then the next thing is that they pause before they act. Okay, I think I've said that. The next thing is that they ask thoughtful questions. Yes, they ask thoughtful questions. So they don't just open their mouth and say anything at all. And please mind you, whenever your child asks you any question, don't go like, why are you asking me this question? This question doesn't make sense. No, there is nothing like this question doesn't make sense. When you do that, they will not come to you with questions, because they know that when I come, they'll tell me this question doesn't make sense. So why should I even ask them? So whatever question they ask you, please know how to handle the situation and also guide them. There's a book, how to ask good questions or something. You can, I don't know if it's common. I just saw it somewhere and I picked it up. I bought it. So you can try and search. If you get that, you read it and then you teach your children, you guide them through how they can ask good questions. Okay. And then they resist pressure. They don't follow pressure. Before they don't say this person is doing this, so I'm doing this because this person is doing it. No, you are not that person. You are you. So when you see that thing, when you see your child doing that, it means that they are learning to become good decision makers. And then they admit when they feel unsure. When they tell you, I don't know. They tell you, I don't know. If I don't know, I don't know. They don't force themselves. They don't pretend to know it all. They tell you, I don't know. I'm not so sure about this. Okay. And then they take responsibility. They learn to take responsibility. So responsibility is one skill we need to build in our kids. It's very, very, very important. They make safer choices too when they are alone. So if you see your child do this, then it means that, oh, my child is learning to become a good decision maker. So I think this is where we end today's class. I don't know if there are any questions. If there are any questions, you can drop them in the comment section. Now look at them for you. Our children need to be able to make the right decisions, because we are not going to be always there for them. We are not going to be available all the time. Life happens. Sometimes you may get you may be transferred to a different place to work. Sometimes you anything can happen. So we need to guide. Even sometimes you may be in the home with them, you may be ill, they will be there. Will they be able to take good care of themselves? Will they be able to help you? Will they be able to help you? So we need to take note of that and begin to focus on building skills. The shouting, the yelling, it doesn't help them. It doesn't teach them to become good decision makers. It is only when we take our time to teach them, that is when they become, they are able to decide well, irrespective of where they find themselves. Let us take note of that. The yelling and the shouting, we've done it for so many years. It hasn't helped anyone. It hasn't, we haven't grown. There, you could see that Gen Zs, not Gen Zs, but we, the millennials, you could see that there are so many things that we lack. We haven't, we haven't turned out okay. And if I say we haven't turned out okay, I don't mean that yes, we've become lawyers, the doctors, all of that, but you could see that something is actually lacking. So we need to intentionally raise this generation differently. I said in the conference that you don't raise a 2035 child with a 1980 mindset, parenting mindset. No, you don't do that. You don't do that. You need to update yourself. You need to learn as a parent. And these things, if you don't learn, if you don't find yourself in a system that will help you implement, you will take what we have taught here and you go, because no one is holding you accountable. You even put it somewhere. You may forget that, oh, I have to do this. So it's important, if you haven't registered in the Inner Tribe program, please get yourself involved. We are working with just a few parents because we want to be able to focus, and we are going to give more tools. This is the second cohort. We are going to give more tools. We are going to do more things. We are going to take our time and implement. We will make sure that everyone implements to the core, to the very end. We will make sure that we are implementing, because if we don't implement, the information is everywhere. But the issue that I see is with implementation. So we are going to help you create systems where you'll be able to implement what you are learning, not just learning. Learning without implementation is nothing. It's nothing. So as you are learning, you are working on yourself, you are implementing, and it is only through the implementation that is when you see, okay, this thing that I did, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? What else can I do? It is only when you implement that is where you see, the things that is lacking, the things that I have to do, the thing that is only when you see all of those things. So that is what we are going to do in the Inner Tribe program. We will help you implement, because for me, the things that actually I'm more concerned about is the kind of generation that we are raising. If we decide to go the old way, if we decide to do the things that our parents did with us, we will raise the same set of people, even worse, because this time technology wasn't that advanced, but now it is advanced and a whole lot is going on. So if we don't do it intentionally and then we leave things to chance, we won't be able to see how the next generation will turn out. It will be bad. It will be bad. So please, let's all come together, share the link, share this good message. These kind of messages are what deserves to get the 1,000 likes, the 100 million views and all of that, but we don't share with other people to also, learn. So please, I'm pleading with you, share this link with other parents, with people in your community. Let us all learn together. And as we are learning together, things become easier. If someone knows what you know, you are freely able to leave your child with that person. You are not afraid, oh, this person, are they going to do? How are they going to raise my child? No, you feel safe because you know that what you know, this person also knows. So you are calm, you are not agitated, you are not, rushing and all of that. So please let us share this message. Let us also register for the Inner Tribe and put our kids also in the Alpha Kids mentorship. If your child is learning, you are also learning. It makes everything easier for you. Okay, and the books that we spoke about during the conference, we will be launching them soon. Of course, we are still working on the printings and everything, but we are going to open sales so that you can also get some. They are going to be hugely discounted so that everyone can get some for their kids. If you are interested, there are kids, there are books for kids that actually help build life skills. Life skills. And if you are registering your child in the Alpha Kids mentorship, they're going to get those books for free. And I tell you, those books, they are so like powerful. When we were writing it, we started I think for some time now, when I started the how do you call it, the book haven, the book business, that is when I decided to, people started asking me for such books, but we didn't have them. Then I decided that I was going to, put things together and begin to write. So I started writing, and by God's grace, we are done with it. So we are working on the printing, but we are going to keep open sales. And when it's ready and it comes out, please take that opportunity to get as many as you can. Kids in your community, you can get for kids in your Sunday school, your Sabbath school, and all of that, so that they will also learn. It's very, very important. You can also register your child for the Alpha Kids mentorship, and they'll get those books for free. Yes, for free. When you register them, they'll get those books for free. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for staying here. For it's been an hour and you are still here. Oh my God, God bless you. God bless you. And thank you so much for wanting to learn all the time. So share this link. It's replay is available with the same link. Share with other parents. Share with someone closer to you so that they will also learn something. We are going to also talk about another, exciting topic next week, Wednesday, 12 p.m. same time. Don't miss it. So until then, See you later. Enjoy an amazing day. Bye.